Good day. Today we are going to tell you about S4 class, which is another class of rocketry modeling. S4 are models of rocket gliders for the duration of the flight. It is a category of accelerator glider models that rise into the air without using aerodynamic surfaces and return to the ground in a stable aerodynamic planing using aerodynamic surfaces. They rise into the air, like all missile models, due to the thrust of a rocket engine, without the use of aerodynamic forces, and then, when the engine turns off, they plane from a height and smoothly land. The main task of the models of this category is to keep the set, control time in flight, a little more but no less. The aerodynamic qualities of the model and hence the time of its flight depend on how well the wings of the rocket plane are designed. According to explanatory dictionary, a rocket plane is an aircraft with a rocket engine equipped with surfaces that create lift. It starts like a rocket and returns to the ground using bearing surfaces, such as wings. The purpose of competition is to find out which of the models will achieve the longest flight duration, using vertical or almost vertical free ballistic flight under the influence of the thrust of a rocket engine in an accord with an angle of 60 degrees, oriented vertically on the launch pad, and stable aerodynamic planing on the descent. A rocket plane rises into the air due to the thrust of a rocket engine. The aerodynamic qualities of the model and hence the time of its flight depend on how well the wings of a rocket launcher are designed. Wing is the most important part of airframe, creating lift. Fuselage. This is the body, the cone beam. It connects all parts of the airframe into one. The tail is divided into vertical, keel, and horizontal stabilizer. The horizontal plumage along with the wing provides pitch stability. Vertical plumage part of the glider providing stability. Different types of rocket gliders. On the internet you can find a large number of different schemes of rocket plans. All of them were good at one time or another, but the technique as well as the result of competition does not stand still and the appearance of the rocket plane is gradually changing. Competition. In this type of competition, the participant is allowed to register two models. Competitions are held in 3 rounds. In each round, the participant must complete the launch of the model within 1 hour. The difficulty lies in the fact that the model must not just be launched, but get the maximum result, 3 minutes. This is possible when running in thermal. The next problem the participant is faced with is the search for a model, since he has only 2 models for 3 rounds, and if he does not find at least one in the 3rd round, he will receive 0 points for the 3rd flight. If several participants received 3 maximum results, then they are given another 1 or 2 rounds to determine the winner. How it works. Before launching the rocket plane on the engine, the competitor makes sure that the glider is adjusted, flies with a small turn and does not convert. Then, according to his structural scheme, the participants fold the rocket plane into the starting position and inserts the engine. An airframe with an engine is installed on the launch pad, guide rings or piston launch. The judge gives the camera to and as soon as the model begins its movement, the timekeeping judges begin the countdown. Usually, upon reaching its climax, the model of the rocket plane is revealed and it begins its sustainable planing. The flight is considered to be completed in the following cases. Flight exceeded 3 minutes, which means 180 seconds. The model has disappeared from the field of view. Clouds, trees, houses, etc. The model landed on the ground. How to achieve maximum results? First of all, you need to understand aerodynamics. Only it will give you an understanding of how and what you need to change in your plane for the better. If you understand it, try the finite element analysis in gas environment. You will see that a lot of things are actually not as they seem. Next, of course, experience. The more you make and run, the more clear each model becomes to you. Learn from birds, they know the best weather for flying. And of course the engine. Match engine specification to your model. Different engines with the same total monument give different result. Today we are going to get to know class S4. These are gliders with rigid wings. How can they look like? S4 models can be of different shape and different types. But the majority of competitors usually now use so-called Moscow scheme. Why is it called Moscow scheme? Because nowadays in the whole world competitors used to call it Moscow scheme. What does it consist of? As any plane, it has wings, horizontal tail and vertical tail, and also fuselage. The wing is turnable and it is adjusted to such a platform. We also have such a wing, which is usually made of carbon, but the main idea for it is to be rigid. Sometimes even sportsmen can use a part of a fishing rod, but the main idea for it is to be rigid, as I already mentioned. The weight of the glider should be not more than 50 grams. But the usual and normal weight for the glider is about 15 grams. Such a glider with a wingspan of 150 and chord 5.5 weighs 12 grams. So altogether the beam weighs about 2 grams, horizontal and vertical tails also about 2 grams, and wings and all the rest parts altogether give us about 15 grams. What is engine compartment? It is a part of the model, here in the nose part, where the engine is attached. Nowadays, S4 glider can be made of some parts which can be constructed on 3D printer. Here we have a platform on the engine compartment, which is made on 3D print, a platform under the wings. If you're gonna use 3D printer to make this to design these parts, it's better to use ABS plastic, because another types of plastic can be ruined by the sunbeams and they can be distracted by the light. But the parts which are made by ABS plastic can serve you for about 2 years. This is a glider. It rises high up into the air with the use of such an engine. In S4 class, we use engines with a delay from 2 to 3 seconds. The jet thrust of an engine allows the model to rise high up into the air, and when the delay acts, the delay burns the thread here, and the wings open like this. And then we observe an aerodynamic planing. So how competitions are organized? Each sportsman has a right to register 2 models. These 2 gliders are for free tours, for free flights. The maximum time of the flight of the glider is 3 minutes. The best competitors who get 3 minutes in each tour for each flight, in a general result of 9 minutes, get into fly-offs. It is an extra tour where the winner is defined. But fly-off not always happen, and it is also possible for the sportsman to get not more than less than 9 minutes altogether, but it will be the best result, so he's gonna be the winner. Some sportsmen often use so-called fuse, which is rescue system for a glider. Here on our S4 model you can see it. It's getting burnt from the engine or by the sportsman himself. The fuse set the glider for the flight not more than 3 minutes or around 3 minutes, so it makes possible for the competitor to find the model, because when it is burned out, the glider has the unstable flight. So that's why it is called rescue system for the glider. Each competitor can run up to 2 kilometers when the wind blows about 5 kilometers per hour. So the competitor runs 1 kilometer to get the model in one side, in one direction, and then 1 kilometer to get back to the place of start. The more wind we have, the more kilometers sportsman can run. So that means that each sportsman has... So the eyesight for the sportsman is also very important. So in order to find gliders, they are painted in bright colors. And again, in a European Championship, our sportsman has shown great results. Varnavskoy Alexander has become the winner in S4 junior class, and Volikov Valery has become again a winner in S4 seniors. So Russian sportsmen are rather successful in this type of models. As I have already mentioned, there are different schemes of models I used, and this one is a Moscow scheme. You can also see such types of models. As for this S4 glider, it is made by use of acrylic. For the wings, we usually use balsa wood. The density of each is about from 106 up to 109. For the horizontal tail, it is possible to use even a density of balsa for about 1.